Alright, hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the potential for a significant severe weather event across portions of the central U.S. Now, today's upload will be kind of short. I will have another one out probably tomorrow morning as I'm on spring break. I just want to make a quick little update as we have another significant storm system to look at. Here's day 2. Here's day 3. Day 3 is when the system starts off. Get a triple point in Nebraska that'll have severe weather into Texas, into Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas as well. Mostly an overnight event though. Front map. Jersey, we might see an isolated severe weather risk in areas like this, but it probably won't be too big at that point. I think your severe risk is going to more start off at around 60. By this point at 12Z, we're going to have dual low pressure systems with this one ejecting into the Mississippi River Valley region. There will likely be a line of severe storms at this point, maybe some embedded tornado warnings with it as well in there. Probably some thunderstorms up into the upper Midwest as well. By this time on Thursday, you're probably going to see some severe weather from maybe Ohio, PA, West Virginia, into Florida, Georgia, as a surface trough kind of moves off eastward in there. Later in the day, severe potential will exist anywhere really from PA, New Jersey, maybe down back into the Florida area too. Friday, isolated severe weather potential again exists across Florida, mainly. Saturday, thunderstorm potential across the Gulf states. Sunday, Florida. SPC-wise, we have a slight risk of severe weather for day 3 once in the load. So we have a marginal risk for places like Western Illinois, most of Iowa, most of Missouri, most of portions of Kansas, Arkansas, in Texas. Most of northern and central Texas is under a slight risk of severe weather. Most of Oklahoma is under a slight. Most of eastern Kansas is under slight. Extreme southeast Nebraska and a little bit of western Missouri. Bigger populated cities include Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, Waco, Texas, Abilene, Texas, Wichita Falls, Texas, Fort Still, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, in Kansas, Wichita, in Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas, and then Topeka, Kansas. In Missouri, we have Kansas City, and then for the marginal, we have San Antonio and Austin, Texas. You also have Lufkin, Texas. In Arkansas, just west of Little Rock. Missouri, places like Springfield, Jefferson City, Hannibal are all in the marginal. Illinois, places like Quincy are in the marginal and nearing Galesburg. For Iowa and Nebraska, mainly Iowa, places like Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City and Ames are in the marginal. In Nebraska, you have Omaha and Lincoln in the marginal. Day 4, potential regional tornado outbreak is going to be possible. The main area for this regional tornado outbreak will be Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. Other areas that may get impacted by severe weather include southern Illinois, southeast Missouri, a majority of Arkansas, eastern Texas, and a majority of Louisiana, along with western Georgia, portions of the Florida Panhandle, eastern central Alabama, and portions of western Tennessee, and western central Tennessee, and western central Kentucky. The area at the greatest risk for it and are places like Monroe, Louisiana, Alexandria, Louisiana, and Mississippi. You have Jackson, Mississippi, Greenville, Mississippi, Columbus, Mississippi, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Meridian, Mississippi. Alabama, you have places like Tuscaloosa, Demopolis, Aliceville. And then Arkansas, there's really not too many populated areas in Arkansas that are really in the 30. 15% risk-wise, you have Lufkin, Texas, and then the portions of the Shreveport metro area. In Louisiana, you have New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Shreveport, all in it. In Mississippi, you really only have the Memphis metro and extreme northern portions of the state in the 15. Central Alabama, including Birmingham, is in the 15. And then Arkansas, places like Little Rock and the western Memphis metro In Tennessee, you have places like Jackson, Tennessee, and Memphis, Tennessee in the 15%. Kentucky, places like Mayfield and Paducah are in a 15%. Southeast Missouri, Poplar Bluff is in a 15%. And then Southern Illinois, places like Carbondale are in a 15%, I believe. Day 5, another chance of severe weather exists into the mid-Atlantic. In South Carolina, a very small sliver will exist. In North Carolina, places in central North Carolina, including Raleigh and Greenville, could have severe weather potential. In Virginia, areas like Richmond and Virginia Beach could be impacted. And places in Washington, D.C. get impacted. Places in Maryland include Baltimore. And that's it. My Baltimore area. In PA and New Jersey, you have Philadelphia. In Delaware, you also have Wilmington, I believe, as well. Looking back at last week. Last week, a very significant tornado outbreak struck. Started out in Texas, where we had a moderate risk of severe weather with supercells that initiated along a dry line there in Texas near the San Antonio, Austin area and tracked all the way up to Shreveport. Yet a triple point also initiated a bunch of tornadoes up there in northern Texas and southern Oklahoma, sadly killing a person with an EF2. End up going moderate risk. The next day, you had another round of tornadoes, 71 being confirmed. You had 71 tornadoes. Anywhere from Louisiana got hit, and Alabama also got hit. But the main swath of damage was in central Mississippi and western Alabama. This had 83 wind reports. The next day ended up just being a slight risk day, but there was a plethora of tornadoes that occurred in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia, just on the edge of the slight, and then we also had a few tornadoes in Ohio. Here are the list. I will slowly scroll down here. You can pause and take a look at this. But yeah. I'm trying to find the list that takes you back. But I don't know. But overall, we had a very active stretch there in March. Bunch of significant tornadoes. So far, this March has had 120 tornadoes, including an EF4, 4 intense tornadoes, 17 strong tornadoes. So that means a total of 22 EF2 plus tornadoes, and then overall having 127. But yeah, that'll do it for this one.